picking Nidalee for Shun, and then you already highlighted the FLS or Puff. Suning, of course, are going to take the Kaisa. I expect IG to answer with the Rell. Lucas has really only been playing Rell and Thresh. I want to see when a team will punish him and take that away from him. And then Lillia, the expected other top-tier jungler, still left open.
Something else that he's had a bit of a grin about, a bit of a laugh. So this has been the other choice for him as well. So go back into that farming mentality, and something that SofM was actually one of the first junglers in the LPL to pick up. However, something like this for SofM I would not put past.
And this has also been one of the answers to Rell individually. Kayn started making an appearance as an answer to Rell. Obviously, she's a very squishy champion. You have a very easy time at getting on top of her in blue form with the Q and then into the ultimate. Very easily take her down, but instead, they are just going to take the Azir. It has been what Rookie's been getting his hands onto as of late. We know Angel likes to play it as well, and despite the fact I don't think it's one of his best champions, he has had some very clutch highlight plays on the Azir.
That pentakill still sits in the back of my mind. I think it was at the start of this split lyric earlier on, so... Angel going to be sitting back on a favorite, back on a bit of a comfort. You've got the Gragas added on in, though. Still a potential flex, but a lot of the time here in the LPL has been going towards the support. So we'll see if On sticks to that to run into the Rell.
And I like this. We get the Samira coming out from Puff, so another different, actually not another different, the AD carry that we saw him carry on in their last series up against EDG. IG were so far behind in that series, and he pulled off a really clutch ultimate to bring them back. And now we expect to see IG pick up their mid laner on 4 and then save that counter pick for TheShy. I just wonder where Rookie will go. I think Orianna is typically the first thing that jumps to your mind. You know, Rookie historically, I think, is kind of his most played champion, especially last year. The other thing we've obviously seen a big resurgence of is the Corki, but both of those don't pair too well in the sense that, you know, it would be nice if you can get some AD damage in the mid lane. So the Lucian, always an option as well. And
I like that the Jace ban actually partners up with both of them, right? You know, IG in the past played heavily around the flex that Rookie and TheShy can both play, so you can't put it past IG having Jace in the mid lane. It's paid respect by Suning, as it's actually a double jungle ban from IG in the meanwhile. But Lyric, I also want to point out, in the last series, as we see the Quinn ban, which could show the Renekton, that TheShy counterpicked with his Ornn last pick. So I'm not going to get the hopes up now, as we do see the mid laner as expected.
And yep, we're going to have a farm fest in the mid lane in this one. Viktor is pretty good in an isolated 1v1 scenario, has a lot of good trading opportunities. Doesn't offer anything in the early 2v2 or early river skirmishes, so we're going to see Rookie left on the island. And IG, once again, has to be highlighted. Drafting very standard.
Yeah, super standard. Again, not that flex out you talked about, or rather that we've talked about in the past. There's the Renekton after seeing the Quinn banned, and how does this get rounded up? Will it be a Gragas in a solo lane, or is it going into support? We've already got a mid laner here, so excuse me, it's already jungle.
Yeah, jungle or support. I still would expect to see it in the support role, but nope. Okay. SofM is confident to bring this one out. We remember he actually played this a lot in 2020 spring, if I remember correctly. I remember his Gragas. He was always very patient at looking for his like E-flash plays with the cast. He would just constantly be hovering on the edge of the team fight while players like Bin and Sorta were funneling in and dying. Let's remember this was in spring, so Suning weren't the team they were in summer yet.
God, it's disappointing every time, isn't it? You know, even though it makes sense compositionally, Lyric.
No, it's exciting.
How?
Because it's TheShy's Ornn. It's IG drafting like a very solid 5v5 teamfight composition. People in chat and our fans are like, what is going on? And we already highlighted earlier. TheShy got the solo kills on the Ornn last year when they faced Suning. So is the Sion really that much different?
No, not really. You're right. Okay. Everyone should be excited. Like, wow, new pick Sion. We haven't seen this in at least an hour in the LPL. At the very least, you run me through IG a little bit more, because it looks like you have a lot of scaling there, a lot of all-in, a lot of 5-man stacking ultimates that can be utilized.
I mean, you asked me to tell you what they do, and then you lay it down for me, Hysterics. They want to engage. They want a team fight. We expect them to snowball around the bot lane early on, which is very not IG, so that is the one point I'm skeptical of. They have a ton of zone control, which is really nice, right? The Sion, the Viktor. It'll be very hard for the side of Suning to walk forward. But then, of course, Suning do have some tools to play a bit further back. They have Disengage coming out from the Gragas and the Azir, but they also have very aggressive elements as well, like the Renekton and the Kaisa. Overall, I think the longer this game goes, the more IG favored it is. Okay. But I don't think either team can be counted out because both do have champions that have the ability to take over the game. The big difference will be, right, Suning should get their advantages through top, while we expect IG to play more through bottom, which still feels weird to say.
Yeah, but after we hyped up Puff, man, maybe this is the big turnaround. Maybe this is the new dynamic of Invictus Gaming. I told you to say Puff again, chat. And if you didn't, then I'm going to be very upset. IG versus Suning. This is our highlight matchup to end week number 6. Well, with all Pulp Fiction references down, that's just a joke, there will be more in the game. We finally get onto the ref for Invictus Gaming versus Suning. We're waiting a while for this one with a very long LPL day, and I'm hoping that is a long night ahead, because this going to 3 games wouldn't be a travesty at all.
Also, wouldn't be surprising.
Lyric, you're right. It wouldn't be surprising. I was just going to say, this to me feels like a game where SofM could be a very key member, right? You know, when we talk about Suning as a team, you said IG want to look at bot, but you mentioned that Suning will be focusing towards the top side, and it is a Predator Gragas, which we know will probably look for that clear, get boots, and then try and impact one of these lanes early.
The thing is, the Gragas can be really instrumental to shutting Puff down in these teamfights, right? All the displacement and lockdown that he provides. The thing is, the Viktor is pretty good into a lot of the champions that Suning are running. Really good against the Kaisa. I think he's pretty solid against the Gragas. It should be hard for Gragas to find any windows to get on top of him and use that cast to throw him into the team. And then again, all the zoning he provides will be tough for Bin to get onto him. So I think this is a prime game that Rookie will have the chance to be a dominating force that can pretty much solo win IG the game if he shows up. But that's not to discredit the other members, because we've seen, right, Shun, Lucas, Puff, they all have the ability. And TheShy on a tank, it's always a sight to behold.
Yes, it is. Although, having him seen on Sion in the past, I remember the SMLZ play against the Ezreal, where he's actually running Glacial Augment, where he soloed out an AD carry, was probably one of the biggest highlight moments, I'd say, even of his career. But then again, he did win world, so that's wrong. As Bin's pushed up, there's the swell seed. Bin dodges. He goes forward instead, flashes away. Shun matches, gets Dark Harvest. TheShy at the ready has his own summoner, and straight away for the explosion of first blood, it's IG on the board.
Yeah, really nice play coming out from Shun, and this is what you typically expect from IG. Is Shun plays heavily around topside in the early game. Even if it's not ganks, it's vision, it's pressure, it's giving room for TheShy to play. He does a very standard 3-camp clear into a top lane gank. You can see that Bin was trying to get the wave under turret. If he got the bounce back, then he could start playing a bit more safely and not have to give so much respect to Shun. But Shun gets there before Bin is able to do anything.
It doesn't matter if TheShy's not on a carry, the tank sets him up. And even with 9 CS, the first kill of the game going over with the cloth armor in hand as well. And Shun moving up after burning his flash, goes back now add to his bottom side clear, and will be able to set up for bottom side scuttle as well. While SofM hasn't really beaten off the jungle path, is now clearing his top side too.
The thing I like about it, right, is you've already set up TheShy to where he's kind of fine, just chilling. He's a bit of CS behind, but he's catching a big wave right now. You have all your bot camps up, so you're going to end up on the bottom side. We're going to get the bot side scuttle. And I don't think there's any play he can make around the bot lane right now. Suning's bot lane looks quite healthy, and it doesn't seem like they are stacking a wave. So maybe Shun will just look back towards the top half of the map. We've already highlighted that we'd love to start seeing some action around this bot lane early on.
Get that snowball that Samira always requires. And here in the LPL, we've seen it denied many, many times, so we know what it looks like. Is Bin with some early trades up to the top side. I love after what we saw that our Observer is just stuck here now. I guess what's more important in the map right now, Lyric, is that SofM, while on a ward, has cleared Raptors, getting a bit more priority up here, but he's just going to walk past the gravity field, and Rookie going to be trying to trade back with some auto attacks.
Just showing and helping Angel get his wave in safely. Angel has no mana. One thing we can look to potentially expect once we hit the level 6 mark is SofM and Angel do have kill pressure onto Rookie. Of course, Viktor very immobile. Pop in, stream a shuffle, pop in with the E flash, with the cast. There's so many different ways that you can get on top of Rookie. And as we highlighted in draft, Rookie has been one of the parts on IG that you're able to punish lately.
Yeah, Rookie with his weakened performance. Not something I thought I would say in this day and age when We've talked about Rookie time and time again being the hard carry for IG, even when there's mistakes across the map. He's someone who's really stepped up to play.
And I do want to add a bit of a caveat to this all.
Please.
Is that we're saying like weakened performance in the sense that last year many of us thought that Rookie was the best mid laner in the LPL. If you didn't think Rookie was the best, you at least thought he was the second best right behind Knight. So
yep.
I still think Rookie's performing decently. He's usually winning laning phase a lot of the time. We're actually just seeing him get cut out in the mid game quite a bit.
We are, and this will be a good game for, you know, a reprieve for him if he can find something. I want to point out in this early game, while we saw that first blood, everything slowed down a little bit. But the biggest thing on the map right now is that Angel, his first back actually leads to a Verdant barrier. We know that now with minion kills, that's how it stacks up. And it's actually a really good item to deal with an AP jungle mid.
I think it's an insane item that anytime you're against AP mid jungle, you should be buying this item. It's very efficient. And yeah, it's an item that you're also able to sit on. You don't necessarily need to just rush it into Banshees. And a defensive item is almost always going to be in your build regardless around third or fourth item. So again,
yep.
you can get the Banshees Veil then, very efficient in the laning phase. And yeah, I like the buy coming out from Angel. The thing is, to go back to kind of expectation setting is, I still think IG should be viewed as favorites in this matchup, obviously. Not only for beating EDG, but even form before that.
Uh-oh.
And then when we think, oh, TheShy?
He's not 6. I'm waiting for the dive. How close is he to 6? But hang on. He's healing up, so maybe not. Maybe the Dominus just going to be ignored. I think Ben wants to get the stun here. Maybe not. The dive happens anyway. Dominus there flashes away. TheShy survives. Extra turret shot comes through. SofM, bang! The explosion returned.
It would have been a bit tragic. Oh, more action bot lane.
Yeah, it is tragic because here comes IG. Shun forces the cleanse out of Huanfeng. It is a 1-for-1 trade across the map as Shun makes his presence known.
Yeah, really nice counterplay coming out from IG on the bottom side of the map, but Ben looked like he hesitated, like he thought that TheShy was going to die, so he started to back off, then turned around. Luckily, SofM was there. TheShy burning the ulti just to get back to lane. Looks like maybe he thought he could potentially get a kill on the way out as well, but so far, so good for both sides, right? IG getting a critical kill on their jungle in the bottom side of the map, and Suning finding an advantage top. But we are going to go into a replay. Lucas engaging with the crash down, instantly locking down on with the E, and then with Shun here as well, flash in for the Q. He throws down the sleep to also get Huanfeng's cleanse.
So repeatable offense, still flash there available though, and it looks like the map kind of been split a little bit here, Lyric, as TheShy a bit too far forward. Remember, the shield can be removed with the W and used nicely there from Bin. Trying to bait up. SofM still not going in. He has flash, he has body slam, but no explosive cask, and will not pull the trigger to show himself.
To be fair, right, this is not TheShy's fault with his wave position, though, because Bin crashed the wave into his turret. His wave was, you know, gonna bounce back regardless. It's up to the rest of the IG members to provide support for him to be allowed to push out, as they are doing now with Shun and Lucas on the top side jungle.
A lot of priority up here. It's getting busy as well. As you can see, SofM is taking a break from farming and accruing that lead that he has. Picked up the kill before and now wants a little bit more. Explosive cask is available as well here, Lyric.
And no ultimate for TheShy, like you said, and Shun already heading down.
Explosive cast, TheShy tanking up, but into Dominus. TheShy ready to get beaten again, and this is just what we remember from IG's top laner as Puff flashes over the wall, gets rid of the blast cone, now wants a kill onto On. Suddenly becomes off when you think about it in perspective. Rookie will take him down, and the rest of IG making trades while Angel now in a bit of trouble. Lilting Lullaby is not available as it was just used, actually. Comes down for the snooze, and SofM does it first to the deer, while Lucas re-engages, and we're bloodying up the rift with 7 kills in 9 minutes flat.
And we're going jab for jab on both sides. I really like it. This goes to what we were talking about with IG and their system, is that I feel like one thing these new players have improved for IG is IG's cross-mapping has gotten a lot better. And we saw that with Puff going over the wall. Really nice dash into the E from Rell to guarantee that stun. But still, Suning at least showing glimpses of what they did a lot in 2020, right? Playing around Bin and enabling your top side.
Ooh, not sure what happened at the bottom side, though, as this is engaged Puff. Bit far forward, the trample, the flash forward, goes forward, and Huanfeng uses this flash aggressively. Nice pick up there to punish the AD carry of IG.
For a second, I thought the heal might be enough for Puff to at least get the 1-for-1, but Puff was over-aggressive, playing too far forward. I don't think On was in lane at the start, and it was initially 1v1, and eventually On joined. Still, you know, that was obviously a mistake, but it feels kind of nice to say, like, Puff being over-aggressive.
True. Normally he'd be back in the lane and getting dovers. That's what TheShy was, at least in this replay.
We just see Flash E coming out from SofM into the ult as we instantly go bot. Puff flashing over the wall. Does dash in, the Rell E comes out, they guarantee the stun, Rookie follows up, and guess what? It wasn't over here. Then we get some action in the mid lane as Shun getting onto Angel does land the Swirl Seed, throws out the ultimate, but gets bursted down immediately by SofM and Angel. But guess what? It's still not over as Rookie and Lucas show up to trade another kill. We're sitting 4 for 4. IG are taking Dragon. Suning are the ones with pressure topside, so if they do get Herald, I would say it would be pretty expected.
Oh, it would be, and it would also lead to so much more as Dominus is used in this top side as well. Bin close to getting this top turret as well, Lyric. I mean, it's a couple of chips away, and SofM knows exactly where he should be. Dragon goes down, but will TheShy survive?
I think no. I think he's gone. Hysterics, I think he's dead.
Bin takes a turret shot. SofM ready again. Predator used against the wall. Are you ready for the bully to continue? The turret goes down, and now TheShy doesn't have a leg to stand on. Looking to run this one somewhere. Body slam disrupts, and SofM picks up his 3rd kill of the game. That first turret, that's more gold in the back pocket, and Suning's top half of the map are huge.
And we see, despite heavy trading in mid lane on our mini-maps, IG are actually forcing Suning's bot lane off turret, so they are denying some minions, as you can see, Puff's minion and EXP lead. They are also getting some turret plates onto him, so they're actually not too far behind in terms of golden experience. And let's remember, for TheShy, he's on a Sion. He's just going to be this meaty frontliner. He's fine playing low econ, but still, Bin now has a pressure point to play through. He can start roaming from topside, looking to impact the map more. He also has TP up. And then SofM has gotten advantage himself and has gone the Shirelias.
Yes. You know, there's a lot of cooldown reduction of this Gragas now, but I just love that whenever we see SofM again, we have to expect that the builds will not be super standard, right? He's going to go something innovative, and sure, Shirelia's Gragas is not super out there, but it's still, you know, a great little adaptation that we'd only see from him.
I love it because it just indexes into how they're going to play their comp, right? They are going to run forward. He's going to pop that active. Renekton and Alistar are going to run in alongside him. Huanfeng is going to pop his ultimate and get in there. Rookie.
Yeah, he's going to get shoved back. There's the ulti used. Quick combo from Suning, and Bin picks up a kill. This Renekton now 2-1-2.
It's something so standard, but something I don't think we see enough in LPL is when a team does focus topside and get that top lane tower down, is rotate their top laner around the map more. I think it's something Flandre has been exceptional at, but again, there's a lot of teams that don't do it, so I'm glad to see Bin utilizing his pressure.
But it's Suning are not done. I mean, I don't know what's happening while RG's bottom lane is staying there. There's the sleep used, but Angel not the one to fall asleep in the end. He wasn't hit, and it comes in. Herald goes down, but still Suning with another successful trade, and you just keep giving more kills over to SofM and Bin.
You know, after IG beat EDG, I saw what a lot of IG fans were saying was like, cool, now I know we're going to end up losing to Suning. And now I'm starting to wonder how well IG fans actually know IG. Like, that's been pretty on, looks like it could be pretty on point.
You can't win all expected matches, you know. It's the unexpected ones that they win. And this was definitely an expected one to win, so that means they're going to lose. It's the kind of the 5-head logic behind this team. And IG, a team that hasn't changed their identity since, you know, 2019, even since 2018, right? The same core identity runs through. And Lyric, here in this early game, Suning have accrued a 3,000 gold advantage. There may be an Ocean Dragon on the side of Invictus Gaming, but Suning have a really fed top side. They've got Huanfeng in a decent position as well, and Angel's still just farming up to get that first item too.
You're right, despite all the cross-map plays coming out from IG, Huanfeng isn't set behind, but IG want to go for this.
Swell Seat doesn't connect though on re-engage, but it's 4 versus 3 for now. Double TP to come through, there's a numbers advantage, but for how long? On going to half health, the gravity field flashed away from, but Bin sitting in the middle of it. There's the engage from Bin. The croc is absolutely massive. We span Yeps because it's a positivity play for Suning. Is the explosive cask separates TheShy from his family, and unfortunately he's now an orphan as he drops on down. Suning win out again.
And this right now is just a result of the disparity in the early game, not only in how it's been played out, but even in composition, right? You have the Renekton on the opposite side who is getting massively fed. Ooh, flash.
Yeah, but slept straight away. Bin actually surviving for now. Gets the takedown to give him a bit of HP. Rookie now set on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift. Bin's happy, and Angel's just going to tag away. The W almost connecting there from Huanfeng, but Rookie knows he's dead. And IG, it's all going upside down for this team.
IG have the highest champion kill per minute games in the LPL by a long shot, and we are seeing that here. 14 kills at 15 minutes. Really nice answers coming out from Suning. Going back to the point before, right? Bin's on Renekton. He's massive right now. You have a Sion that is very far behind on the opposite team. You have Rookie on Viktor on the opposite side. And the damage just isn't there yet for IG to be taking these fights. Because that choke point, I think, would have been a perfect location for IG to fight. We saw that. Rookie and Puff were pretty much left untouched. But Suning have more damage with Bin going in. The explosive cask was able to come out, and they were able to get the 1 for 0. And then around mid lane, Rookie thought he'd be able to get the kill, but guess what? There were numerous members of Suning there.
Yeah, so many options to get out for Bin in the end. Heals up, walks away happy, and you can see Suning should be happy as a group unit right now. 15 minutes into the game, a 5,000 gold lead, just about. A little bit under there, as you can see on the scoreboards, but mainly, they're on the way to their second items with bounties on 3 members. And I know you talked about IG being a more favorable comp in the late game, but we also got to remember that Suning do have really good scaling elements as well. Their composition, you know, can interact, and with a lead like this, it's going to be really hard for IG to stop the pace of this snowball.
I completely agree. I mean, right, we're talking about right now what is about a 5k gold lead. That is, you know, about 2 mythic items, 2.5 legendary items type of pricing, or I guess it'd be same, 2 legendary items. So that is a massive chunk of damage as Bin goes in. The flash immediately somehow survives. Looks like it is through runes. He's just healing back up with the coup de grace. So yeah, really nice coming out from Bin. I like that Angel and SofM were there in the play to support him as well.
Also the Merc treads, right? Like, he wasn't stunned for very long. The tenacity coming through. I think also, especially since you're going for the precision side of the build, you'd probably have the tenacity there as well. So feels like Bin just got stunned for half a second, if even that, and walked out of there in the end. So it feels really nice. And Suning still winning across the board. We come back, another turret goes down. And we've got that dragon that was just picked up. We've got another Herald spawning soon as well. Feels like Suning can do no wrong at the first portion of this game.
And Suning are keeping up what they were doing before, where we're not seeing Bin overextend in the top lane. He knows his matchup isn't about hitting top lane inner turret. It's about keeping up the pressure and then being with his team to allow them to get in aggressive vision. And then when we have Shirelia's battle song coming out on Gragas, when we have the Alistar, we know it's about going in as this 5-man unit and looking for skirmishes and team fights, not winning through your solo advantage against the Sion.
Which is now 1-4, by the way, just as a side note. TheShy's had a pretty rough bullying stage of the game. As SofM, where did he come from? Says Puff. He's waiting, baiting about, and thinking, nah, don't worry about it. We know Rookie's hiding behind enemy lines and shooting closely behind. And Suning don't force the play, but pings are now getting spammed to the top side after pushing out mid. You can see Huanfeng just sitting in the lane with Suning pressure building up.
Suning's comp is very good at diving isolated members. When you bring Alistar Gragas into a side lane, headbutt pulverize or E-flash into the cask, you have Huanfeng there to dish out all the damage. Rookie would be there and then he wouldn't. But instead, Suning are going to respect. They realize multiple members of IG can rotate towards the top side, and they're just going to take this Rift Herald.
And this feels like really tempered play, right? Something of Suning that we've said is like they've been lacking direction, and this early game so far has not been directionless. It has been clean, pristine, and SofM has been taking control as he yet takes another Rift Herald.
And he also... I stopped. Bin's looking for the engage.
Bin's going in 1v2. Doesn't care about the lilting. Lullaby has dominance available onto Lucas. The crash down interrupts him while Puff is getting engaged by SofM. That was Predator used once again aggressively. And Suning have found themselves the engagement now in a choke. IG looking for some kind of return play. They don't find it. They back away, and Suning don't give away anything.
We know that IG need to take this one slow and steady, try and get down a defensive ward line in their own jungle, get their own camps, collect farm. It's fine giving up the next dragon as well. You're potentially playing off of enemy mistakes right now and trying to funnel gold onto Rookie, Shun, and Puff. Obviously, preferably Rookie over all else. A funny point is, we now see SofM building the Verdant Barrier, so we are seeing a bit of a full AP Gragas coming out from SofM.
Of course we are. I mean, it feels like we'll be talking about his build all game long. I mean, all series long, of course, SofM. You know, when he was on the Snake roster, when he was on the LNG roster, you know, they were often referred to as mad scientists because I think him and Flandre usually had some pretty interesting builds to go by, but I think SofM was always at the core of it.
I can't remember what year it was, but I swear I remember Flandre playing Malzahar top.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got some innovative top laning.
Snake was an interesting team, and I do miss that team. I do miss Crystal's Draven.
He was just come back to SofM. He's actually one of the first players to, he was the person who kind of created up in solo queues the Redemption Lee Sin, Redemption Olaf, especially. Yeah, that was where we first saw it, and a lot of pro players were saying they got the idea off of watching SofM.
He was also the player that would build Warmocks every game in every situation on every champion.
Did it at Worlds too.
Ah. And again, I don't know if he's ever said his reason for it, but I remember one of his teammates citing that he likes that it keeps him healthy enough to stay on the map longer.
It's his reasoning makes sense, but it's just the people willing to do it, to follow in his footsteps. Always impressed me more as well. TheShy actually might be caught out here. Trample's going to get the stack up. Stun coming through. SofM does a lot of damage, but TheShy at this point can absorb thanks to the Iceborne as he's bopped back. These are two members who don't do too much damage. The Herald's coming through the explosive cast, negated by TheShy's ulti. And that's 3 people barreling into TheShy, which will help the Herald get the charge, while the response for IG is not really there.
I mean, IG did just get the tier 1, the outer turret on top side, so it is ultimately being a 1-for-1, so gold's still about where it was before. The thing, though, is this gave Suiting the pressure to be able to take this dragon for free, and more importantly, I think this charge was quite nice, because Suiting were the team expected to get the dragon anyway. I don't think IG would have been looking to contest, or at least shouldn't have been looking to contest.
Yep.
So the game is going to roll forward on a similar pace. And I think for Suiting, despite the fact that we've said, hey, IG are totally comfortable going late with their champions, I think as a team, late game is a bit of uncharted territories for IG.
Not a region that you say IG really flourish at, because a lot of their games don't even go that long.
To be fair, I do want to add the caveat that IG were down about the same amount of gold against EDG, and they came back and won the game. So, I don't want to write IG off by any means.
But I do want to give Suiting the benefit of the doubt with what we've seen so far, which is pretty pristine play, right? Really proactive play that I think someone like Sword Art would be watching over on TSM saying, that's my boys. It really feels like this is a great start.
I take your benefit of the doubt, and I raise you a benefit of the doubt for IG. What are you going to do about that one?
I mean, I'm just going to sit here questioning and waiting till the biggest play that comes through, which could be something like the Baron, right? Or the next Mountain Dragon fight, because I don't know. Do IG want to give away any more dragons at this point? Will they have a choice? Because they're still down so many items. They're still, I guess at this point, down so much vision control as well. You can see them just trying to get near the Baron buff right now. Seems so difficult.
And right now we see that Rookie is making his way towards the Void Snap. Definitely going to need that one to come out before you look towards any fights. Probably would also even be nice to see some Grievous wounds, even if just to cut down Bin, because Bin is being such a monster. I'm going to be so interested after this game to see like his damage dealt and damage taken numbers, because it felt like in every skirmish they won, he was so instrumental. He's been involved in the most kills of his team, sitting at 8.
And damage taken in the turret dives, plus the trade we saw earlier, right? It's got to be a really high number. Angel, meanwhile, though, with all this pressure coming through, just moves up to the mid lane turret, adds a bit more to perspective, and Puff getting half health from one little trade from Angel. He's been a bit of a quiet achiever. Someone who's sitting 2-1 and 3. His Verdant Barrier is still there, and will be towards his 3rd item as well, if he chooses to complete it. So he's just sitting so comfortably versus 3 members of IG at any given time.
And I like that Suiting are keeping it standard. They're just playing for topside vision. They have been being an annoyance on bot side, trying to pull TheShy down there. Maybe at some point after that, they can look to try to force out his TP. But it looks like IG actually don't even want to go answer the Renekton. They realize TheShy can't win. His on goes in.
Yeah, he makes a play, but no one's nearby. The gravity field in the perfect position. Unbreakable will already used to absorb the damage. Puff goes in, picks up the trigger, and the first kill going down for Puff in this game. That's way too deep for On.
I really like it, and we're not even at the point where I think IG need to fight yet. They probably want at least one more item on Rookie, which will probably be that Archangel Staff 3rd. And that's really when I think IG will be like, okay, we're pretty much online. We're going to start looking for these fights, but really nice that they're gifted a bit of gold before they really need to start looking to scrap.
Means that they get their jungle back as well, right? Go back to farming and get closer towards these items. Should be able to clear out some of this Baron vision as well. Because Suiting right now have been using that advantage to keep the area nice and blue. As we watch On again, he flashed in, but Huanfeng didn't follow up.
Yeah, no, and this was also what I talked about as well with
Red buff.
Viktor. Viktor's so good against champions like Kaisa, in my opinion, because sure, On goes in, he suddenly drops down his gravity field and pretty much cuts off any angle that Huanfeng can follow up. And then even if Huanfeng does follow up, let's say he ults in, goes past the gravity field, he is now cut off from being able to escape. He's just kind of trapped with not only Rookie, but the rest of IG members who are then able to collapse.
Love the zone control point. Really hits true as Rookie actually might be getting controlled himself. Angel's here. SofM over the wall, excuse me. Gets a nice ulti there from Angel, and down Rookie flies. TheShy has also TP'd in. He just wants to train past the Baron, get some vision himself. All right, boys, they're there. And out he goes.
Shy, gonna be, I think for Suning, I think they should probably just start the Baron, and they're gonna do that. Just start the Baron, look for the turn. Look where On is on the map. He's actually situated behind IG. He can find the flank.
He's Hex flashing over the wall. IG gonna get surprised in the backline. Puff flashes immediately there. The Wombo combo sets it up. Down goes Shun immediately. Suning using Bid to an advantage. Puff now has all the S ranks he needs, but he won't go in. Suning way too healthy. And that ruse was exactly that. As Suning wipe him clean.
And this is going to turn into the Baron for Suning. It should also let them be able to get the next Drake, which is up in 30 seconds. It'll be up just right before TheShy is. 9K gold lead. This game in the map should be Suning's at this point. I don't care how far down they are in the standings. I don't care how much they've been struggling in the LPL this split. I think this would be a very hard game to throw.
Oh, absolutely. 4 out of 5 members with a bounty. Such clean play, and they really know how to talk, especially with these fights.
I also just love the way they played it, right? They sent most of the members to the Baron at the same time. On was wrapping around the jungle. He finds the Hextech flash into the flank. I mean, you have numbers advantage. You're just able to go in right away. Really good performances coming out from both Huanfeng and Bin after that engage.
He was the person that we talked about, you know, he wanted to get items and be in those fights. He dies first, but even more so, we saw there from Puff, he does no damage to Bin. Like, he does no damage to anyone at this point onto Suning, and they sit comfortably behind the front line. They get the kill. They get the Baron. They now have Soul Point coming up as well. 10,000 gold just about. And now the base is going to be in so much shambles. Angel setting up by himself again with On behind, ready for the engage.
And like you said, Puff's doing no damage, not even only for being a Samira falling behind, but also just by the fact that Suning are just so far ahead, right? That's why Puff is behind. Puff is behind because Suning are ahead. They've just been winning so much. They're going to be able to use these Baron cannons. They also do have range available to them in the Azir, and as well as just spamming the Kaisa Ws if they did want to add another layer of siege. And they should be able to get both of these inhibitors.
And there's nowhere that's IG safe. Everyone has dive on this Suning comp, so one step too far forward. This game one is over indefinitely. TheShy is still fronting up here. Over the wall goes On. SofM waiting for the body slam. Does he care? Because Bin's still here as well. I don't know if he's trying to bait it out, but eventually heads on over while it's inhibitor turret number 2 here in the mid lane. Inhibitor number 2 at that as well. That should be going down next.
IG also don't have the most range to just mindlessly wave clear, right? You only have Viktor who's able to spam abilities. Lillia and Samira are not really offering much, so...
Sion actually flashes in, but he's dead. Lilting Lullaby puts himself to bed. Oh, that was better than the one we saw at Worlds as the engage comes through. The dive we mentioned, 3-man headbutt pulverize. Suning absolutely dismantled them, man. Nothing like the Pulp Fiction. This time Samuel Jackson dies as Suning will go to the Nexus, clean this one up, and lead the series 1-0 against Invictus Gaming.
And really nice game coming out from Suning where we saw a team go back to the classic. The classic in the book of IG where we just go, hey, we're gonna camp top lane. And guess what? Completely worked out for them. Shun did try to provide a bit of support early on. We did see Shun and Lucas both hover towards top. But I like Suning. They were just so patient. They waited for both of them to start heading down towards the bot side. Then they made the ganks. Then they made the plays. And then after that, even better, right? We talked about how there are quite a few teams who will gank top, play for top side, and then get an advantage. But I don't see too many teams who, every time they have a window to impact the rest of the map and push their advantage forward, use it. And that was what Bin was doing this game. He was everywhere. They realized how their composition was supposed to play out in the mid game as a unit. And yeah, I think it was just a really solid performance where Bin and SofM pushed this game forwards, and the other 3 members did their roles in supporting them well.
It was a clean game from Suning. I think the cleanest game we've seen all split. We're being hypercritical about them, and sure, like On had some pretty off moments, and that was 100% pun intended.
Hysterics. I just need to stop you to make you realize what we're saying. What? Suning's cleanest games have been against top esports in IG.
Yeah.
And they're losing to everyone else. Truly counter logic.
I don't... Oh my God, you're right. You're so right. I was going to say that, you know, the disappointment we've seen, like, against Rare Atom, they look clumsy. Against RNG, they got pretty slapped. Like
against JDG, it wasn't good. It was just just got punished over and over again. But
Quite
here
recently.
in this game, they got a lead. They stuck to a consistent plan, and again, they executed their win condition perfectly. We all knew that they were going to play around top set this game when they drafted this comp. They just stuck to it. They stuck to the fundamentals. They got an advantage, rotated it around the map, good vision control, good engages. You can see Angel and Huanfeng, despite the fact that they weren't the ones who pushed the game forward, they were the ones putting up the big numbers as the game went later on, and it was just a cohesive team job to win out this game.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a better, you know, again, top esports, you're right, but Suning here really showing up IG in under 30 minutes as well, doing it IG style, winning throughout and then taking every advantage they could get. And SofM on Gragas, man, using that Shirelia's, he was a bit of a force. He was always there in TheShy's face, and TheShy didn't really get to play the game, even being this tank to absorb pressure. But overall, Invictus Gaming didn't have any outs, right? Like Rookie never got a chance to farm up, get those 3 items you're talking about, and impact the fights. Game was already too far gone, and Suning still with the scaling elements never had time to fear with an advantage like that.
Now, this is the question. Do IG's players go back to the waiting room and say, hey, coach, give us things that smash these kids in lane? Do we see the revert towards the lane dominance, early game, 29-minute victory IG?
You know, it's going to a game 3. That's every time I look at IG, I just think that there's something that's going to change. Well, maybe. You know, that's got to stick in the back of our minds after what we saw from Suning. There's a lot of conviction in that game 1, and we'll see if they can bring it again to the series when we come back.